So what do you do on this scale of 1 to 10 of these 10 major areas of life? Here's what Peter said. He said, don't put all your emphasis on the outward man, on your outward beauty and your attire, your hair, how you dress, how you look. He said it's the hidden man of the heart. We've all met somebody who doesn't naturally look attractive, but whose inner person is so beautiful that they shine. You forget that they don't have the right nose or the right teeth or the right hair, because their inner man is so stunning, so gracious, so beautiful, so accepting. And you say, man, isn't so-and-so such an incredibly beautiful person? But it's actually coming from within. It's the hidden man of the heart. And here's a great thing that you should know that is good news. It's part of the acceptable year of the Lord. There's limits on how beautiful you can be. There's limits on it. If you could be more beautiful, you would by now. You would have done it. And your flower is fading, so it's changing. So is mine. But here's a great truth. There's no limits on inner beauty. You can be as beautiful as you want to be. Jesus' inner man was so stunning, he was so gracious, he was so lovely, altogether lovely, that he would look at someone and they would melt because of his love and his acceptance and the way he related to people, the way he loved people. And he was incredibly beautiful because of the way he functioned, the way he lived, the way he related to people. And that's open to you. That's available to you. There's no limits. You could be as beautiful as you want to be. Isn't that exciting? There's limits on how smart you can be. There really are. There seems to be limits. There's caps on how smart I can be. And my background, how much education I've had is really, really been hampered, really been limited. But what I tapped into when I met the Lord is I found out there's no limits on how much wisdom you can have. Wisdom is actually calling out in the streets saying, come and take me, come and get me. Choose me more than silver or gold. There's an abundance of wisdom. There's no limits on the amount of wisdom you can have, which made Jesus stand out so far above everyone, above his teachers, above everybody. The psalmist said, I have more understanding than my teachers. There's no limits on it. Only the limits you put on it. God won't limit how much wisdom you can have. You can have as much as you want. That's something. There's limits on how much wealth you can have. I mean, if you could be wealthier, you would be wealthier now. So there's limits on that. There's limits on how far you can go in those areas. But there's no limits on spiritual wealth, spiritual riches, true riches. Jesus called them true riches. There's no limits on how rich you can be in grace. There's no limits on how much spiritual truth is available. You can be so rich that you have power to give away. You have gifts to give away. You have gifts that wherever you go, you make a difference. You change what takes place. There's no limits on how spiritually rich you can be. And the list goes on. You can go through all of this. You may not be very popular in the eyes of the world and how other people relate to you, but it's possible to walk the halls as a real hero, walk the halls as a real servant, walk the halls and be a game changer in your school or in your workplace. They may totally marginalize you because of your background, your belief system, or whatever, or spit on your faith. But they can't stop you from loving them. They can't stop you from serving them. They can't stop you from making a difference in their lives, being in the right place at the right time. All of these areas can be opened up in such a powerful way that you can step in it and make a difference. the scale changes. Once we switch over into the spiritual part, it completely changes. Isn't that good news? Amen.